Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Hello. How are you all doing? We've got some people out there. Are we all in a Plastic Ono band mood? I know I am. I'm ready for it. That'll do for guitar. Not had my guitar out for a while. Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. This was supposed to be last week, but last week was... I was not in the right frame of mind, let's just put it like that, last week, so I had to delay it a week, sorry about that. Thank you to everybody who's joined so far, thank you for the questions that have come through. I'm going to come on to those in a second. I'm going to be on for about an hour or so, we shall see how it goes, and I've got a few things that I want to talk about, but of course I will be led by what you want to talk about as well, absolutely. So, yeah, let's just kick it off with a quick quiz question. My last World Cup that I did, the final was these two albums, Ram, All Things Must Pass. Which would you vote for as the winner? Now I had to choose I had the category of epicness to base it on. You don't have to do that. Just generally, which one of those two albums would you vote for? They were my finalists in my last World Cup that I did. I'm going to do some more because I enjoyed them, lots of people seem to enjoy them, and I really seem to wind some people up with them as well, who really didn't like the whole concept. So I might do a few more just to annoy them even more, possibly. We'll sing... No, Oliver, I'm not going to sing it. I wasn't going to sing Working Class Hero. No, just a little bit of guitar riffage. So, let's relax, slow down. I don't need to rush. So I've got some questions coming through. I'm going to try and cover a few of them first of all, while we get into the swing of things. But send them through. I'm going to keep near the bottom of the chat probably most of the time. If I miss your question out, I've probably not seen it. Send it again and hopefully I will get to it. Have I heard, says Sheffield and Beyond, about the All Things Must Pass reissue? Has anybody heard about the All Things Must Pass reissue? I think all we can say at the moment is we're still pretty damn confident that it is happening, but I assume that the four Beatles and their estates have got things going on where they kind of give each other space. So presumably now is the time for Plastic Ono Band, and at some point soon, hopefully it'll be All Things Must Pass next. But who knows? Maybe it's Paul. Maybe George has got to wait in line for his turn. I honestly have no idea, but just get the flipping thing done, please. Ray, we finally spoke the other day. That was it was wonderful for you, I imagine. I will answer your questions in turn. Number 1, no. Number 2, no. Number 3, no. Number 4, Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. There you go. What's the story behind my on-air sign, says Justin. On-air. There's no great mystery to this. All it is this was a surprise present from my missus last year, just so that when I'm doing videos or if I'm on a call with work, I can put it on my door and she knows that if she comes in, she's not going to suddenly be live on the internet. So that's all that was, but it comes in useful for things like this. That's all that is. So, will we see a special edition version of McCartney 3 to include the demos? I keep hearing that there is something coming for McCartney 3 still. I don't know. Is it going to be like... Well, I didn't get the big Egypt Station suitcase jobby. That was a product too far for me. But if there is going to be something, and I'm not convinced there is, but I've heard that it's still on the cards, I wouldn't mind if it was something like the new package that came out. I think this came out about a year after new, didn't it? I mean, that was good. I quite like that. There was a lot of extra things on there. So if there is, then maybe it'll be something like that. We will see. Can you all hear me okay, by the way? I've had a few microphone problems tonight. I think I've sorted it out as best I can, but let me know if that's a problem. Not that I can do much about it now while I'm on live, but at least I'll know. Oliver says, here's some news. Plastic Ono Band remix reissue will be announced tomorrow, 4 PM where you live. I was expecting 2 PM, but we shall see. I think we're going to talk lots about Plastic Ono Band over the course of the next hour, so let's hold that thought. We will definitely get onto it. I've got the... I'll be able to show you the what they've done to the artwork. They've really cleaned it up nicely, that front cover photo, how that looked originally compared to how it's going to look on the new release. So I'll be able to show you that soon. Stick around for that if something as minor as that is of interest to you. So, yes, hello everybody. As soon as you're born, hi. Oh, I must have gone live at this point in the chat. So I'm going to flick down to the bottom and we will see. Hi Anthony, how are you doing? You okay? Any plans to go back on the Paul or Nothing podcast? That was a great episode. Thank you very much. I certainly enjoyed it. So we chatted for, if some of you might have seen it, but we chatted for, it was 4 hours. We talked about that. Put it there. Documentary from 1989. I mean, even the people who put that thing together probably didn't spend 4 hours planning it. We talked about it for 4 hours. It was fun. Am I going to do another one? I've certainly been asked, and I haven't actually got back to Sam yet, but I'm interested in doing another one. If there's something that I think I can do justice to, then I'd love to go back on it. I don't know if Sam's around. If you are around, Sam, yes, I'm up for it at some point. Let's get it on, shall we? Let's get it on. The sound's coming through good. Oh, it was awful. It was like I was in a bed about half an hour ago. It sounded awful. So I think I've sorted it. Kian, I never know whether it's Kian or Kine. I'll say Kian. Sorry if it's wrong. Plasticona Band is my favourite Lennon album, so I will 100,000% get this box set. Yes, I'm at 101,000. I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Plasticona Band box set. I've seen the track listing. Goodness me. Oh, there's a lot on it. And that's not even including the Blu-rays. Sean, hello Sean. Do I know much about the Beatles and John Lennon box of visions? I saw you ask that question earlier. So I Googled it because I'd never heard of it. And I saw it and I thought, no, definitely never seen that before. It looked as though it was fairly official though. I think it said it was Capitol Records. So, but no, I'd never seen that before. Cheers everybody. I'm in my Yellow Submarine mug for my cup of tea tonight. I have got a beer that I will be slipping open later on, but I'll have my cup of tea first. I missed. Oh, Adam says, "What is your favourite Paul McCartney archive reissue? I like the most, and why?" Well, Adam, I don't want to do a spoiler alert here, but I did do a video ranking all Paul McCartney archive collections. You're welcome to go and find that and have a look at it. But let's just say that let's just say Red Rose Speedway did very, very well in that. Yes, that's an amazing box set. And talking of the Paul or Nothing podcast, he's got a new episode coming out soon with with John Heaton. I'm sure many of you know John. Great videos that he does, and John's done an episode with him where they're talking about the James Paul McCartney special from 1973. Have I got that right? I think 1973. But that's in the Red Rose Speedway box, and I rewatched that in anticipation of this podcast coming out. And it's crazy. I absolutely love that special. So I'm looking forward to seeing that Paul or Nothing podcast with John Heaton, which I think is coming very soon. So that should be good. Anthony says opinions on Paul's lyrics book. Yeah, I've got that. I've made about 5 words of notes to try and get me through the next hour. Paul's lyric book is one of them. I am going to be talking about that definitely, so stick around. Astrojet on the Dylan 1970 set, it seems like George has no singing parts, just guitar. Interesting. I know some people have received it. Amazon have just it was supposed to be on it was supposed to be like last week, and it's been delayed now in theory to the middle of March, but some Amazon have just started sending it out to some people. I know they have in Australia anyway, so that's interesting. Why they've got it and other places haven't, I don't know. We shall see. What? Oh my goodness, Scott! Thank you very much. I've never had one of those before. Thank you. That is very kind of you. Please ask me a question. Oh, you've asked me a question. Thanks for the personable, entertaining content. Always happy to see when you've got a new video or stream. Thank you very much, Scott. That's very kind of you. I don't go asking for those, but that's definitely the first time I've ever received one. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I'm blushing now. I've gone red. So that's really thrown me. That has, in a good way. Thank you. No, I still. Where are we? Hi, Lucas. I don't know what you're waiting for your copy of. I must have missed an earlier comment. Oh, the George Harrison Bob Dylan thing. Yeah, you're still waiting in the Czech Republic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Should be out. I should be getting it in a couple of weeks' time, as I guess quite a few of you will be. So that'll be interesting. But it sounds. So what you're saying is it's George on guitar rather than singing. Fair enough. I don't mind. You know, I'd have got it even if it was just Bob. That would be enough for me to have got it. So the fact that George is there is a bonus. Flowers box was a mistake they did not do for the Flaming Pie box set. I presume you're talking about Download Gate. So I think, yeah, there was a lot of things download only, wasn't there, not on a CD. I presume that's what you're talking about. I think they tried it and they got such a backlash from it that if they hadn't had the backlash, I think they would have continued to do it for those albums where there were those albums that were originally digital anyway. So I think they thought that they could do it for Flowers in the Dirt because the B-sides, for example, had already been released on CD 30 years ago, so they were already out there digitally. I don't think they would have ever done that for like a 70s album. So I think they probably would have done it for Flaming Pie had there not been the backlash, or if Flaming Pie had been done first. And then there'd have been a backlash and they wouldn't have done it on Flowers in the Dirt. So they tried it once. Yeah, it didn't go down well. Hi, David. We need a proper Band on the Run box set with outtakes, demos, etc. Yeah, absolutely. I think I read something somewhere the other day. I can't remember where it was, but it made so much sense to me. And it was saying about how when the Paul McCartney Archive collection started, and it's going back, about 10 years now? Probably just over, actually. It was kind of the early days of box sets like that. There wasn't really too many of them around. It was mainly sort of straight remasters, the occasional remix, and with the odd bonus track. But to get a book like that was quite a rare thing. So they kind of did that. It was really good at first, and then loads of people caught them up and overtook them, and they've had to make the boxes bigger and bigger to compete and to be able to sell them for more and more money. But it does mean that those first ones seem quite sparse now, like Band on the Run, McCartney, etc. And yeah, it'd be great if they go back. I don't know what they can do with outtakes. Well, the demos, if Paul's to be believed, they got stolen from him at knife point, didn't they? But yeah, there's got to be loads of outtakes, got to be loads of studio sessions, and this is why I think, and I say it every now and again, that I think what they should do is an archive collection that isn't specific to a single album, but it's like, let's say 1970 to 75 rarities archive box set. That would be brilliant, because what you can do is then anything that you didn't put on Ram, because where are all the Ram outtakes? Ram, Band on the Run and all that kind of thing, where there were earlier archive collections, you could put them in there without it really sort of downgrading the status of those boxes. If you suddenly released another Ram collection now and sort of said Ram the Ultimate Collection or something like that, then it kind of makes that seem a bit second class. But I think if you do it where it spans a few albums, you could probably get away with it a bit more. I think anyway. I'd certainly be happy. That's what I think. Where are we? What else am I? I've got a lot coming through here. Hi Ryan, you okay? Do you rate the Beatles' US albums? As I was watching me and Mr. Mayo's video and his ranking on them from worst to best. So I've obviously not got the kind of emotional connection to the US albums that somebody in America who grew up with those albums has got, and I'm never going to have that. I don't particularly like all the reverb that's on it, but some of the things I like, for example, on Rubber Soul, is it the mono or the stereo version where I'm looking through you, it's got the false start and they just left it on and it's just there still. I like that. That's it's like typical of the 60s about things that could sort of get past quality control that had never happened later on. So I do like that, but and sometimes I listen to them as kind of curios, if that's the word, because, like I say, I haven't got that connection, historical connection to them. But some of the song, the track listings feel a bit weird to me. So Rubber Soul, for example, with having I've Just Seen a Face on it, and there's one of the other songs from Help, isn't there, that's on it? And I just think, well, they were they were much earlier in the year, and so it doesn't quite feel right to me. But I understand why people love them. Oliver says, when will you do a George Harrison album ranking? Some people are on at me all the time. When are you going to do this George Harrison album ranking? I am going to do it. I just feel there's one or two albums that I feel that I've still not given enough attention yet to be able to do it fairly. And I could have tossed that video off months ago, but I didn't want to do that. I'm actually in the middle of going through all of George's albums again, some of which I don't need to do, but some of them I think I've still got more to learn, so that I don't want to just do the ones that I don't know, because then I don't hear them in context with the others. So I am going to do it. I'm sorry it's taken longer than I said, because I'm sure I said about 18 months ago that it was coming soon. But yeah, I am going to do it. Don't worry. Where are we? Denny Sywell. Hi, James. Denny Sywell said he had banned versions of the album before he and Henry left. Interesting. Okay. So that would be great if they're available. Have we also heard Denny Sywell has said something? He's said something about Ram's 50th anniversary. So this is one of my topics that I want to talk about tonight. I might as well do this now. So Ram's 50th anniversary coming up shortly. What we pretty much know nailed on is that there is going to be a Half Speed Remaster, like we got last year for the McCartney album. There's going to be one for Ram. Don't know exactly when it's going to be. I think it's going to be, I think by June it's going to be out by the sounds of it, but it's not known yet. And the McCartney one was just so good last year. I really enjoyed that. The sound is better than any version of McCartney that I've heard. So I'm really looking forward to a Ram equivalent. But Denny Sywell has said that he's been working on something that I think is completely separate to that. Some kind of remake of the Ram album is been quoted as having mentioned. So if anybody's got any more details about what this thing is that Denny Sywell has been working on, then please let us all know in the comments. And I'd certainly be interested to know. But it does seem that he's been working on some kind of remake. I don't know whether it's under his control or whether he was just sort of hired to drum on one or more songs. I don't know. But again, that could be interesting. What else have we got? Mike, I must admit I'm actually struggling to get excited about the new lyrics book. It's the music itself that interests me. Well, that's fair enough. You don't have to be excited about it. I mean, I'm sure we'd probably all prefer Paul to spend a bit of time writing his autobiography. I don't think you can spend a bit of time writing a Paul McCartney autobiography, but that would be the ultimate thing. But let's face it, it's never going to happen, is it? We're not going to get that. I think the Barry Miles book from about 20 odd years ago is probably the nearest thing that we'll ever get, but that only covered a really small portion of his career. And I know I keep mentioning this particular book, but the Man on the Run book by Tom Doyle, which covers pretty much the end of the Beatles through to the very early 80s, or well, certainly through to John's death. That was written based on a lot of interviews that he did with Paul. So it was Paul's own stories from his own mouth, even though Paul didn't write it down himself. So things like that are probably the nearest we're going to get. The lyrics one's really interesting. I think what I would like to ask is, sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. In the lyrics book that's coming, there's going to be sort of 150 odd songs, sort of explained, dissected by Paul. Which ones are you keen to know about and read about in terms of the meaning and what was going on in Paul's mind? There's one for me that stands out more than any other that I'm really interested, that I hope is in the book. I don't know whether it will be, but that's Riding to Vanity Fair from Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. Because ever since that came out, I've wondered, is that song about Heather? Is it about Jeff Baker, his publicist? Because they had a fallout around about that time. And I've always thought that song was like a conversation between him and somebody who's fallen out with, and I think it's one of those two people. But I would love to hear him explain his thoughts on that song, but I don't know whether that's going to be in the book or not. So yeah, let me know if there's any particular songs that you would be most interested in reading about in that lyrics book. I'll be interested to see. So, Oliver says the Ram Half Speed Master is a topic on the Macca forum. I'm not on the Macca forum, so I don't know what's been discussed. But is there any more news on dates, Oliver, for when that might come out? Because I've certainly heard different rumours, but they all seem to be sometime between April and June. So I don't know. Oh, hi Joe. Joe, me and Mr. Mayo is in. Good to speak to you the other day. That was good. That was a mammoth live stream that you did. I think, did you clock up about 6 hours on that? That was crazy. It was good to dip in and out and have a bit of a chat with you. But yeah, these individual live chats, I'm not ready to do that yet, what you've done, and actually sort of have loads of people on. I probably will at some point do that, I think. So for some of you out there, I may well, if you've not seen them already, so Joe on Mean Mr. Mayo does them where he uses software where actually other people can join in and we can have like a quarter of the screen each and 4 of us going. I may well do something like that at some point. I might start, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. At least here, if it all gets a bit too much for me, I can just hit the end stream button and I can just run out the room crying. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But good to see you anyway, Joe. Wings Over Europe, do I think it will ever be issued in an accessible format? Presumably you mean as a standalone release, either vinyl, CD, whatever. I think it will be, but I think, and this is just my opinion, I think it would be a mistake for them to do it now. Not from a fan's point of view. From a fan's point of view, it's ideal to do it now. But from MPL's point of view, I've said this before as well, if they have got a plan to do a 78-79 box set that's like the 71 to 73 one, and they want to have London Town Back to the Egg with a big exclusive live package, they need demand for that to be really high because it's going to be expensive. And I think the demand wouldn't be as high if everybody knew that it would be a standalone release pretty soon afterwards. So I think it would be a mistake on MPL's point of view if they did that standalone release before London Town and Back to the Egg comes out. So I think it'll happen, but I think it would be not wise as a business decision to do it just yet. But what do I know? Nothing, basically. Nothing. David says we could have a Yorkshire stream chat. Yeah, Yorkshire people only on here. That would be good. No, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. But yeah, Yorkshire chat would be good. Right. Oh, Ruby, you've been on chats with Mr. Mayo. Yeah, good. I didn't see you on the one a couple of days ago. I don't know if you were there. I kept dipping in and out. I couldn't do all 6 hours. That was a bit much for me. But yeah, it was fun. Right, quick. We're about a third of the way through. I've got 3 quiz questions for you, so I'm going to hit you with the first one. I don't think I've seen yet anybody saying which lyric they might want to see the most in the book. Unless nobody had. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, I've just scrolled back up. I've seen it. Right, okay. What have we got? Because I did miss Bit Bop, Oliver. Yeah, that would be really insightful if we got the Bit Bop lyrics. I think I saw somebody say Mr. Bellamy. Yes, Lucas, Mr. Bellamy, absolutely. Again, I've always had my theories about Mr. Bellamy. To me, it's a cat stuck up in a tree. And the steady lads, easy does it, all that bit is the fireman coming to rescue the cat from the tree. I know that there's other theories about it was somebody about to jump off a building. I always think it's a cat. Because, and as well, I've always thought that Mr. Bellamy was like Paul's attempt at a Peter and the Wolf style song. So Peter and the Wolf, Prokofiev, you've got the story of Peter and the Wolf, but also each character in the story, whether it's Peter, the wolf, the cat, the duck, is it a farmer? His granddad, they've all got their own theme tune. So whenever they come into the story, their theme comes in. And Mr. Bellamy's like that. There's different people come into the story and different themes musically start playing. So I've always thought that was his attempt at a Prokofiev, Peter and the Wolf type thing. Again, could be complete nonsense, but that's kind of how I've always thought of it anyway. So what did he mean by salamander, says David? Yeah, maybe he meant nothing by it. I don't know. But yeah, that would be good to know. Did he have something in mind? Early days, yeah, because he talked about early days, didn't he? When New came out, just like I think he said his story was along the lines of he was sick of people writing books, putting words in his mouth, pretending that they knew everything that went on back then. But, you know, I was there and they weren't. So he was like saying he knew the story better than them. But, yeah, it'd be good to hear him talk more about that. Temporary secretary would be good. Again, you know, I've always thought that For No One, Another Day, Temporary Secretary, Back in Brazil, it's like the same girl, but like through the ages in different songs. Again, I've always felt complete nonsense probably, but there you go. Calico Skies, yeah, that would be good. I mean, presumably it's going to be a very heavily Linda-based story, whatever that's about. Motor of Love, well, just what was Motor of Love about? What an awful song Motor of Love is. It's probably my least favourite Paul McCartney song he's ever done in his whole career, I think. Just my thought. Yeah, what's Jet about? That would be good. So, yeah, good. So, yeah, there's a few different songs that would be good for Paul to clarify about there. So, first quiz question, like I said, I've got 3. I'm just going to slip in. No, just for a bit of fun. And I've lost one of my CDs that I was going to do a quiz question on. Where's it gone? Anyway, let's move away from the Beatles a second. Bob Dylan, Biograph. What year is this from? Do you know what year that was released? Let's see who's first to get the answer. And I'm going by what it says on the back of here, so hopefully that's right. We shall see. I don't think Heather will be. No, I don't think it will be either. I'd be very surprised if there might be the odd thing off Driving Rain, like more the Linda-based songs. We shall see. But no, I don't expect Heather to be in there. Yeah, Beautiful Night would be good. Press. Yeah, so there's a lot of songs that we want to know more about in terms of lyrics. Sheffield and Beyond now. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realise here that I might have made a bit of a clash mistake here. Are you talking about which Paul McCartney song you would like to see in the lyrics book, or are you talking about the year of the Biograph? Because of course it's the same. It's 1985. 1985. That's a complete coincidence. I didn't plan for that to happen. But the answer to that quiz question could easily have been an answer to my previous question as well. There you go. Yes, 1985, that came out. There we go. What's this, Harry Dance? Calico Skies is the colour of the hospital ceiling when Linda was in labour. Is that right? If I've read that or heard that somewhere, I've not retained that bit of information. I didn't realise that. That's interesting. Where have you heard that, Harry? Please let us know. There's a few people got answers all over the place on that one, but yeah, it's 1985. Hi Graham, how are you doing? Why is Driving Rain on vinyl so expensive? I guess it's just because 2001 when that came out, it was, vinyl wasn't the thing, was it? Everything was CD. So there probably just isn't, it's supply and demand. There's not that many copies of it flying around, and there's probably not masses of people bought it. I certainly haven't got it. I'd love to have it on vinyl. I'm happy to wait for, I think, probably a vinyl reissue like he's been doing, which we've not had for coming on for 2 years now, have we, since he did the last ones of those. So we shall see. Harry says, you love Motor of Love. I have weird Macca taste. Thank you, Harry. Maybe I do. I don't know. I just don't like that song. It's just it's a bit too 80s. It's a bit too nice. It's a bit too bland. It's not got enough oomph for me. I'm always keen for Où Le Soleil to come on when Motor of Love's finished, if I'm listening to the CD version anyway. Why wasn't Où Le Soleil on the vinyl version of Flowers in the Dirt? Probably because the album would have been too long, probably because they wanted a bonus track for the CD as they did back then, but I think the album's lacking when Où Le Soleil isn't on the end. So, Motor of Love's production is the main issue for James. Simpler arrangement would have helped. Yeah, there's probably a really nice song lurking in there. It's just production-wise, it's a bit much, isn't it? Sexy Sadie was about the Maharishi, yeah. Well, that was the original lyric, wasn't it? It was Maharishi. Over £200. Is that for what? For Driving Rain vinyl? That is ridiculous. Do I watch Melinda? Says Ray. I think I know who you mean. Is that an American lady? Collects a lot of vinyl. I think that's who you mean. I've seen a few of her videos. If that's who you mean. Lucho, there will be a Back to the Egg archive collection, ? So I guess you're asking a question there, will there be? There's got to be, hasn't there? There's no way that he's not going to do London Town and Back to the Egg. No way. But again, I think I've said so many times, a lot of people do, there's been some kind of legal issues that's been holding it up. We don't know if they're resolved yet. Once they're resolved, happy days. You'd imagine he wants to get that out there. Do I think Macca will re-release Venus and Mars and At the Speed of Sound as a 74 to 76 set? No, I don't. I could be wrong. No, why? We've had archive collections. All right, probably the two worst archive collections in my opinion in terms of bonus content, but also that encompasses Wings Over America. We've had a massive box for that. I'm not sure there'd be a market for it, but if anybody thinks differently, let me know. There seems to be a bit of arguing going on about Motor of Love. I am always happy to facilitate an argument. You carry on arguing between yourselves. So, what else have we got here? We've got Miguel's got a different take on Calico Skies, written while Paul was in the US for a funeral. Bad weather outside and there was a blackout. I don't know. I'm not sure that. I don't know. Hi Adam, how are you doing? You okay? Hi Oliver. If I haven't heard, you recommend Ringo's Bad Boy. I haven't heard Ringo's Bad Boy. I have ordered another Ringo CD, ladies and gentlemen. My recent Ringo fest. I've ordered Vertical Man, so I've gone off the chronological path. But I saw Vertical Man for £2 on eBay, so I thought, yeah, I'll have that. I want to get is it Rotogravure? Is that how you pronounce it? Rotogravure? Gravure? I want to get that next, but I'm not paying 14 quid for a CD. So I'm going to wait until I see a bargain on that. Maybe when our shops are back open in England, I might be able to go and find it in a record shop somewhere. Was Cheer Down... Hi Harry, was Cheer Down by George about Paul? I don't know if it was about Paul. I do think it's just about George's best solo song. It's right up there with his very best for me. I absolutely love Cheer Down. I think it's a brilliant song. Nowhere Brit, hello. Did I ever own the Flowers in the Dirt tour pack with the Party Party CD single? Uno momento. I'm going to put my back out doing that. Yes, there you go. I only actually got this a couple of years ago. I already had the Party Party CD. I got that years ago, but yeah, I got this a couple of years ago. What I love in here is that map. Not map. It's like a sort of a family tree thing that shows all the members of Paul's band at the time, Hamish, Robbie, Wicks, Chris Whitten, etc. And it shows all the different bands that they'd been in over the years and like all eventually converging on Paul in sort of 1988, 89. But other than that, yeah, I'm glad I've got it. I don't really open it up and have a look inside very much. This is the CD version. I think is there a vinyl version of this as well? But yeah, that's my CD version of that anyway. So yes, I have got that. I shall put that back later. My question is, says Ken, do we need a Back to the Egg reissue? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a massive fan of Back to the Egg. I've said this before. I find it a bit of a struggle, but I think there's a lot of really good songs on it. But yeah, I think what else was going on there? You know, let's have a lot of the unreleased stuff from it. We definitely need the 70s finishing off. London Town, Back to the Egg, absolutely. And then following on from that, Raymond says, what is my favourite song off Back to the Egg? I think it's probably... let me just pull it up. I think Baby's Request is on there at the end, isn't it? I really love Baby's Request. Getting Closer is great. Old Siam Sir. I always liked the first time I heard him talk about Scarborough on there, because I'm originally from just down the road from Scarborough. So it was nice to hear him singing about somewhere very near to where I'm from. And I don't like orchestra theme. I think it's just too much. Get rid of about 20 people off it and have something a bit scaled down. Arrow Through Me is nice. I think Arrow Through Me would have been one that probably would have fitted really well on London Town as well, that kind of thing. So yeah, Baby's Request, Getting Closer, and Old Siam Sir would be my 3 favourites. I'm generating a lot of filing for myself once the video's over, as I usually do, but that's cool. What else have we got? Ray. No, they're not getting back together. Come on, Ray. Come on, ask proper questions, Ray. I'm going to skip down to near the bottom of the list because I don't want to be too far behind when these questions have been asked. So if I've missed yours out, ask it again. I'll try and get to it. What's this? I remember, says Andrew. Hi, Andrew. I remember a Q interview with Paul from the time of Chaos's release when he said Vanity Fair was a riposte to the way press were attacking him and Heather. Okay, so I wonder if it was like a bit of a conversation, a to and fro conversation. I don't know. Interesting. Mike hopes that Paul's post-Beatles studio albums up to Flaming Pie will get archive releases in one form or another. Yeah, I think off the ground, I would certainly love to see that. Press to Play is still the one that will excite me most. If he announced a Press to Play archive collection, I will be, yes, that would be brilliant. I would love that. But I just don't see him going beyond Flaming Pie chronologically, because I think Linda is so integral to the archive collection. I think that once she's not part of the story, I think the albums that follow might get done years and years down the line, but not while Paul's running the series. That's just my opinion. I don't base that on any kind of knowledge at all. Okay, I think I might be back on now. I'll soon know. I'll know in about 10-15 seconds time if I'm back on. So, yeah, I'm back on. Thank you very much. Flipping technology. I've not had one of those for a while, have I? I went all... You know, those of you that have been with me since my early live streams back in about April last year, you'll remember I had all sorts of technical issues. And I've avoided Wi-Fi recently. Everything is plugged in, and so that's the first one. That's the first thing I've had like that for a long time. So thank you to those of you that have stuck with me. I think I've lost about 20 people, but maybe you'll come back. Thank you everybody for letting me know that I am now back. Pesky technology, darn you. Nicholas, I'd like to read the story behind Morse Moose and the Grey Goose. That would be great. I absolutely love Morse Moose and the Grey Goose. It's a fantastic song. I think it's got such a groove, such a vibe to it. Yeah, I want to know more about that. In fact, in a London Town archive, let's have a 20-minute extended edition of Morse Moose and the Grey Goose. That would be fantastic. I would love that. Graham says, have I learnt any more songs? What to play? I was actually fiddling around with something earlier, which I could do a few seconds of. I'm going to move my microphone down here, so I might go a bit quiet, but it's for the guitar. Just because it's Plastic Ono Band being announced tomorrow, which we will come on to shortly, guys. So I was fiddling around with this earlier. I was messing around with that earlier anyway. Well, just a few seconds of that. Oh, John says I'm offline. I haven't gone... Oh my God, have I gone offline again? Flipping heck. Flipping technology. Am I back on? I think I'm on. I'm going to continue as though I'm online. I think I'm on. It says I'm on. Unbelievable. Blooming technology. Oh. Some people are saying I'm on. Some people are saying I'm live. Oh, what the heck. I'm having a beer. It's driving me to drink, is this? So, anyway, I'm still on. I'm back on. Right, okay. Oh, I'm on Never Left. Oh, okay, right. So, anyway, Chris, Plastic Ono Band, April 16th. Yes, right. Should we talk about Plastic Ono Band? Because I've kind of skirted around the subject so far. So, tomorrow it is going to be officially announced that Plastic Ono Band is the deluxe, what should we call it, Ultimate Edition, I think, is coming on the 16th of April. Friday the 16th of April. I've seen the track list. It looks great. I will, as soon as the announcement comes tomorrow, I'm going to be ready to do a video just like my thoughts on what's been announced. So please have a look out for that tomorrow. I said I've got the new artwork. Do you want me to show you the new artwork? And I'll show you that in a moment. But there's 159 new mixes, it's described as, and it's going to be there's the ultimate mix of the album. But that's not just the album; it's the album plus 3 extra songs. The 3 extra songs are the singles of the era, so that's Give Peace a Chance, Cold Turkey, and Instant Karma. So we've got like new ultimate mixes of that. There's then going to be all those tracks there that I've just mentioned. There's going to be outtakes for each of those. Again, for each of those tracks, there's going to be Elements mix, which is if for any of you that got the big Imagine box, the Elements mix is, if you imagine, it might be a version of a song. So let's say, for example, Mother, just to take an example. The song would start off with like one of the very earliest takes. So this is like how the song started. Then it'll go to it'll sort of segue into, the song will carry on, it'll segue into a version maybe part way through once it had evolved a bit, but it wasn't like the final version. And then it'll probably end up playing something more similar to the final version. So there's going to be all these Elements mixes. And thank you, Chris from Birkinshaw. Thank you for telling me that there might be some general streaming problems at the moment. That might be why I've had an issue, I don't know. There's going to be home demos, there's going to be jams, there's going to be raw studio mixes, which is just, I think that's just, again, like they had on Imagine, there's no reverb, there's no effects, it's just bang, this is what it sounded like when they recorded it. And then I think the Blu-ray is going to be a lot of Yoko stuff, so the Yoko sessions, which I'm really glad are going to be on there, because what you've got there is John Lennon, Ringo Starr, Klaus Voormann and whoever else playing for God knows how long. And why would I not want to have all that stuff there that's from the same sessions that's John Lennon playing? So I'm really happy about that. I don't think the actual Yoko album, the Yoko equivalent of Plastic Ono Band, is going to be included in this. But that did get its own reissue recently anyway. Cheers, everybody, by the way. Cheers. There'll be vinyls, there'll be vinyls. Sorry, I just said vinyls, plural. There will be vinyl. There will be CDs. I don't know the configurations yet, but we'll know tomorrow. So stick around for the video tomorrow. I'll be able to tell you a lot more. But let me show you this. So this is the original Plastic Ono Band album cover. Okay. And it's I don't know whether it was deliberately sort of, it's a bit, colours wise it's a bit wishy-washy, but it's always been like that. That's how we know it. And it kind of looks like this now. So it's a lot more colourful. So I think it's, it's kind of a statement that kind of says, we've cleaned this up a lot. This is new and fresh. So I like the look of that. Again, let's just compare it to the original version. Technology, it's amazing, isn't it? I hated it 5 minutes ago when I went offline, but there you go. There's a difference between the old and the new. It looks like they've zoomed in a little bit on the new one as well. So there we go. Anyway, yeah, Plastic Ono Band. So there's going to be all sorts in there. People sort of asking about, is it going to be the same? Where the heck is my Imagine box? Oh, it's up there. I don't even know if you can see it. It's just up there. The Imagine and the Give Me Some Truth that were consistent sizes. They kind of seem to have set a template. So hopefully we'll find out tomorrow whether it's the same size as that. Surely it's got to be. I don't mind if it's a bit thicker or a bit thinner, but surely the height and the depth so that it sits on your shelves nicely has got to be consistent with that, hasn't it? So I hope so. So, is that tree still there? I don't know. I think the tree, it's at Tittenhurst Park, isn't it? It's at John's house in Ascot, which I love in the Imagine films. You see some aerial shots of it. So I think it was down near near the lake or the river or whatever it is that's there. I think it's down near there. So if I think I might have mentioned this before actually, but if I haven't done, if you've not heard me say it, and I don't mean now, but if anybody wants to check out a Liam Gallagher video that came out last year, and which song was it? I think the song was called Once. I think that was the single. It's filmed at Tittenhurst Park, and it's brilliant because the whole video's done in one shot, and it stars Eric Cantona, many of you will know, French footballer from the 90s, and he's like the sort of king of the castle or lord of the manor, and it starts off in the room, you know, the room where the Imagine video was filmed. He starts off in that, and it's just one camera shot for the whole song, with him sort of walking through the house, out of the front door, and it looks exactly the same as it looked in 1970. It's incredible. And then he gets into his chauffeur-driven limo, and the limo driver is Liam Gallagher. So that's a real good video. If you want to check that out, if you've not seen it, it's worth it for seeing Tittenhurst Park, as much as the fact that it's a good Liam song as well for those who like a bit of Liam. Hello, Joe. Says, Joe saw me on the Mean Mr. Mayo live stream. All looked a bit fraught. Was it a bit fraught? I don't remember it being fraught on any bits that I was on, but was there some fraught parts to it? I wish I'd seen those. Because I don't know if you're still around, Joe, but you always delete your live streams afterwards, don't you? As soon as they're finished, you delete them, and so we can never go back and re-watch them. I'm interested in knowing if you've got a particular reason for doing that, because sometimes I think, I want to go back and watch that, and it's gone. So there we go. So yeah, did it get fraught at some point? I don't know. I didn't see it towards the end. I was kind of busy the other night. What's Nowhere Brit saying? I've been guilty of dismissing Yoko's music over the years, but I've listened to some recently, especially some of her 70s material, and some of it's really good. Pardon me, beer. Some of it is really good. I mean, some of it is really, really hard work. But I think there's some really good stuff in there. There's one album that I really want to get hold of. I can't remember what it's called. You might be able to tell me, people who know a bit more. I think it was one that came out. It might have been like a third or fourth album or something. I think has it got a picture of the pyramids on the front cover, the Egyptian pyramids? I'd like to get that one. But I got one of her recent albums just recently. If I can find it quickly. I got that. Between My Head and the Sky. There's some beautiful stuff on there. Things like Memory of Footsteps is great. The Sun Is Down is a real good sort of electro song. And it's a really enjoyable album, I think. So, yeah, there we go. Fly, is that... I don't think Fly is the one I'm thinking of. No, I've got Fly here. That's Fly. So I think it might be the one after that, potentially, that I'm thinking of. Feeling the Space, I think that's it, Oliver. I think that's the one I mean. I want to get hold of that. If that's the one I'm thinking of, if people can let me know, do you like that one? Yeah, Feeling the Space. Okay, is it any good, people? Let me know what you think of Feeling the Space. Liam says, what time am I doing the video announcement tomorrow? Well, I'm going to be watching out for the announcement, which it says 2 p.m. UK time, whatever time that is in your part of the world. So I want to try and get that video done. It means I'm going to have to work late to make up the time, but never mind. I've just spilt beer all over my hand. But I want to try and get the video done as soon as I can. So it will be up hopefully sometime tomorrow afternoon, and I use the word afternoon as in UK time. It'll be up as soon as I can get it. There you go. Right. Meadow Queen, hello. You've seen Yoko in concert twice. That'd be really good. Was that recently? I guess it can't be too recently because she's not done many concerts lately, but she was touring or doing shows about 10 years ago, wasn't she? Is that when you saw her? I sounded a bit reverby there. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's the hole in the guitar. It just makes everything a bit reverby. But I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to put that should be better now. Sorry about that. I've never been a sound technician. Right, where were we? I saw something from Anthony. I wonder if Paul has remembered for the book he did a medley for Red Rose Speedway, because when doing Memory Almost Full interview, he said this was the first one he did since the Beatles. And I think was it you? I think was it you? I was talking about this on Twitter the other day, Anthony. Twitter address there. If anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, because it kind of supplements the YouTube. I kind of do things sort of in conjunction with my YouTube stuff on Twitter. So that's there, nice little plug. Was it you I was talking about on Twitter the other day, I think, where I was saying, the chances of him remembering much from Red Rose Speedway got to be slim, because I think he was a bit in the clouds for a lot of it, wasn't he? I think Paul remembers what he wants to remember sometimes. Hobane, is that right? Any news about All Things Must Pass remix? I did mention it at the start. No, there's no concrete news yet on that. But yes, it's going to be this year sometime. 1985 year. Did I ever listen to Midnight Sun by Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger? Sean and his girlfriend's band. Yes, I saw them do it live as well, which was great. So this would be, what was it, about 3 or 4 years ago, roughly. I went to see Sean. Second time I've seen him live. First time I got to have a real nice chat with him, which was really good. Didn't get to chat to him second time round, but I was about 10-15 foot away from him. He was on stage, and it was when he had his really long hair and his beard. It looked like 1969 John, and it was like, this is the close. I mean, I've seen a lot of Beatles tribute bands, for example, where some of the lookalikes and sound-alikes are fantastic. You get somebody like there's a guy called Tyson who plays John Lennon in the Bootleg Beatles at the moment. Brilliant watching him for his looks and his sound and everything. But seeing Sean Lennon on stage looking like that, that's the closest I'm ever going to get to seeing John Lennon, without a doubt. And it was really good, and he was playing guitar, and I was just watching him and thinking, there is no way your dad could have played guitar like that. He's a seriously good guitarist, is Sean. So yes, I've heard Midnight Sun by Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger. It's very good. It's quite psychedelic. If anybody's not checked it out, it's worth having a listen to. It's like psychedelic rock, and it's really good. I enjoy it. Hey Christiana, hi Andrew, you said that 1986 is your year for music. I will take anybody on a 1986 crap pop quiz, definitely. Thoughts on Invisible Touch by Genesis. That was summer of '86. Definitely a summer single was that. It's a good memory of 1986's Invisible Touch. It's without it, 1986 would just be a little less than what it is for me. I think it's because I was that perfect age, that perfect teenage age. A lot of things happened in 1986 that made it like the perfect summer for me. And I'm not a massive Genesis fan, but Invisible Touch, mainly because it comes from that 86 period, is one that I do like. And then I think they did Land of Confusion, I think was the next single, wasn't it? Which was that kind of like autumn 86. And that was good as well. I'm going to get this name completely wrong. Hozu? Josue Hozu? Sorry about that awful pronunciation. I have the yellow Lego submarine, yes. It's always there. It's always there on all my videos. I thought I'd give it a bit of pride of place. I love my yellow Lego submarine. Try saying that quickly several times. But I never bothered getting that one with the faces, the 4 faces, the recent one. I'm not bothered about having that. Charles Hawtrey was an evil drunk. Oh, Ray. You are allowed to say nice things about people, Ray. You know that. It is allowed. But yeah, he was. Charles Hawtrey in the Deaf Aids, phase 1 in which Doris gets her oats. I haven't got I haven't got my Charles Hawtrey t-shirt on today. My I Dig a Pygmy t-shirt. Are they all Beatle-related albums behind you, says Vinyl Dale. No. Should we do a little room tour? Shall we? We've got a minute. We've got a minute for that, haven't we? So that's all kind of Beatles and McCartney there. There's a bit more Beatles there, but there's a load of Bob Dylan there. There's a bit more Beatles there. Top corner is all old Beatles, like the 87 CDs and anthologies and Love, Live at the BBC, all that nonsense. Then I've got my Pauls, my Georges and my Johns. And then really from there downwards, right down to the floor, which is way down there, all of that, all of these behind me here, they're not Beatles. Pretty much now. So I would say Beatles accounts for about a third of it, probably. Roughly. There you go, a little impromptu room tour. I know I was going to ask, if I was to do another World Cup. No, says everybody. If I was to do another World Cup, any ideas on what? It's good to have it as multi. God, here's me maths knowledge not up to speed. Powers of 2, so if it's 2, 4, 8, 16. I don't want to go to 32. That makes it nice and easy for the draw, however many things I'm looking at. But if anybody's got any ideas, I want to do some Beatles album stuff. I want to do some later solo albums. But I can't do later Ringo solo albums yet because I've not heard them. But I would like to do more. But any ideas are welcome on that. And I can always go back and revisit this chat later on. Once we've finished, so if I don't see your suggestions now, I can always see them later on, because I miss so much on these chats when we do these live streams. I always like to go back and see all the chats afterwards, so I will get to see it if I haven't mentioned it. So, if you could just give us some suggestions, that would be good. What's the beer tonight, says Frognut. I got some freebies. I don't know if anybody else got. Brewdog were doing. Send us £1 for postage and packing and we'll send you 4 free beers. Yeah, fine, okay. So it's that. It's alright. It's not the greatest, but it's alright. Gerard. Hello, Gerard. Do I think it was John Lennon on McCartney Uncle Albert on the phone? No, it was Paul. It was definitely Paul. Absolutely. I think Paul... I've never thought that it sounded like John, but clearly you think it maybe does. I think Paul could do good John sort of impressions when he needed to. I was listening to something. What was it the other day? I was listening to Beatles for Sale. And I was listening really closely, and I think it was I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Somebody might tell me differently, but I think it was I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. And you've got, so right throughout the album, you've had John sort of singing the low harmonies and Paul doing the high harmonies. It's a brilliant harmonies album, is Beatles for Sale. I think it's their best harmonies album. And then you've got I Don't Want to Spoil the Party, where it switches. And it's Paul doing what would have been John's vocal. But he sounds just like John, but it's definitely Paul. And then they sort of switch it round for the, I think it's the choruses where it switches round, and then suddenly Paul goes high and John's low. And then the verses, the back round again. I just thought, to switch like that, just absolute genius. I've no idea how I got talking about that. What on earth set me off on that path, I don't know. I can't remember. Anthony, this is unrelated. Something unrelated to McCartney and Beatles. Have I ever watched The League of Gentlemen? Do you mean... I want to clarify what you mean here. I hope you mean The League of Gentlemen as in the TV series, Reece Shearsmith, etc., or are you talking about the Sean Connery film? I haven't seen the Sean Connery film, but The League of Gentlemen, the TV series, I have watched that many, many times. Many times over. Brilliant. James Bond? Yeah, I could do Bond. Nobody ever watches my James Bond videos, though. That's the problem. I put a lot of time and effort into my James Bond videos, and nobody watches them. So, yeah. It is I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Right. It's 10 o'clock. I said I was going to be on an hour. I'll do a few more minutes. Why not? Why not? So where are we? What do I think of Linda's Wild Prairie album? I really like it. Let me just get that down off the shelf. It's somewhere around here. There it is. I think, I don't like all of it, but I think Wide Prairie is a great song. I love The Light Comes From Within, because it just took me so much by surprise when I heard it for the first time, because The Light Comes From Within, it sounds like a George Harrison song title from Living in the Material World. It's that you think, it's going to be spiritual, it's going to be all nice, and she just comes out with with this song just absolutely slagging somebody off and calling them all sorts of names, and it's very funny. I've never noticed that before. Mine says promotional copy, not for sale. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to buy this apparently. But I love The Light Comes From Within. Love's Full Glory is quite cheesy. Cow, I love this sort of Bon Tempi Casio keyboard sound on Cow, which is really good. And then you've got Cook of the House on here, haven't you, which is not going to be the greatest. Seaside Woman's good. Oriental Nightfish. So I couldn't even think how some of the songs go, but the best of it, especially The Light Comes From Within, is superb. Love it. I was going to do another quiz question. So the Paul McCartney song Back on My Feet, my question is, which single did that first appear on? There you go, Back on My Feet. Let's see who gets that. Right, so where are we? Anthony, yes, you're talking about The League of Gentlemen, Shea Smith Pemberton. I think it's one of the best comedy shows. It's the most surreal, messed up. To write that show, you've got to have a messed up mind. But I think it's brilliant. I love it. Do I think around Record Store Day Black Friday, says Oliver, we will get a Half Speed Master of Wildlife? No, maybe next year. It would be good if this became like a 50th anniversary thing. Well, I think it'd be good anyway. We've already said that Ram's going to come this year, so next year, maybe. Will they think it's a bit too soon after the archive box? I don't know. We'll see. But that'd be good. Dobby the Dog. Hi Andrew, was I right or not about the animation on When Winter Comes? You'll have to remind me. I can't remember what we've talked about there. Let me know, please. Emmett, hi Emmett. You watched a documentary about Paul, clip of him on New Era, acoustic 12 string. Do I know where you could see the rest of it? No, just root around on YouTube, and unless it's something that's on this second time tonight this has been out. Documentary on Paul, New Era, playing an acoustic 12 string. Well, there's a bonus film here. There's the making of Early Days. Could it be that? Well, acoustic 12 string immediately says to me Early Days is the most likely song. So maybe it's on there. I don't know. Joe, you want me to do a World Cup Ram versus Ram? That would be interesting. I don't know how I'd split the two, but that would be good. So we've got a few people saying Once Upon a Long Ago. And My Brave Face. I think these are quiz answers coming in. Back on My Feet, here's your answer, was originally the B-side on this CD single of Once Upon a Long Ago. I'm assuming, was that Paul's first ever CD single? I've never seen a single before this that had a CD release. So we'd be talking about press to play era. Spies Like Us. They weren't doing CD singles then. I've never seen them anyway. So I'm assuming that's the earliest Paul McCartney CD single, unless you know differently. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know. But yeah, Once Upon a Long Ago. Oops, just scrolled down and I missed a few things there. Hi, Danny fan. I haven't heard any of Danny's solo stuff yet. No, I keep meaning to. I'm going to get round to it. It's something that I do want to do, but no, I haven't yet. Dobby the dog. You said it would be a good Rupert animation. Yes, I absolutely agree. It's very much that kind of style, isn't it? That sort of quite sort of homely style. Yeah, that would have been really good for that kind of thing. How does the Half Speed Remaster of McCartney compare to the archive vinyl reissue? So I do like it when people ask questions where I can say, I did a video on that. So on the day that it came out, I listened to both. And I listened for the differences. And I can tell more difference now because I've upgraded my turntable to a Riga P3. I did have a Riga P1 at the time, so I've gone up quite a bit. And it's the bass, to me, it's a smoother bass, better bass. Things like the acoustic guitar at the start of every night, it just sounds a lot nicer. It's some of it, the differences are quite subtle, but it's like a meal that's had a bit of extra seasoning, and has suddenly the flavour's gone up a bit. It's hard to completely put your finger on what those differences are, but definitely smoother bass and a nicer sounding acoustic guitar sound. But it does sound lovely. Hello from Ukraine, Svetlana. Wow, we've got people from all over. That's brilliant. Have we got anybody further away from me? You don't need to get Google Maps out here and check, but anybody further away from the UK than Ukraine is, I would love to know. Not that I would always know whether something is further away than Ukraine or not. A World Cup of Ram songs. That would be interesting. So Ram won the World Cup. Well, it won my first World Cup. And then do a World Cup of the songs that are on it. Interesting. How many songs are on Ram? I think I've got Ram here, haven't I? Because I did this earlier. How many songs are on Ram? Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I think that comes to 12. I counted it really quickly. I would have to put 4 songs through in a bye, wouldn't I? So that I could, to the second round, I might do a World Cup of Ram songs. Yeah, that could be interesting. I will go back, like I said, and read all your other suggestions. If I've missed them out now, I will see them when I read everything back later on. Have I done a John Lennon best songs? No, I've done a John Lennon album ranking a long time ago. But no, I've not done a John Lennon best songs. That's a good one for the list. I have a list. Brazil. Oh, Brazil's winning. No, you're not, Ray. You're not in Antarctica. Brazil. Fantastic. Argentina. I think Argentina might be a little bit further away than Brazil, even. Yeah, I think it is. Iceland. This is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, Vancouver. Wow, okay. James, you've got some Kefs. Yeah, a friend of mine's got some Kef speakers, and they're very nice. Excellent. Wildlife World Cup. Is there enough songs on Wildlife? In fact, there might even be the right amount of songs. Is there something like... Is there only about 8 songs and they're on Wildlife? That could be brilliant. There's all sorts of ideas. I'll do more World Cups, definitely, because some people do get unnecessarily upset, but especially the fact that I put sometime in New York City got to the semi-final on my first one, which I didn't expect it to, but the way that the draw worked out, it just did really well. And on another day, it would have got knocked out in the first round. So, yeah, World Cup of albums, singles related to that album. Yeah, I was gonna do. I was gonna do something as well on. Somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, "Why don't you do a video on like favourite songs from the archive collection?" So that's something I've been looking into. I've put together a bit of a playlist that I can start to whittle down. But it's hard knowing what the criteria is. I mean, do you exclude everything that's ever been a B-side because that's already been released, or do you just count stuff that never saw the light of day until the archive release? I think that's the way that I would do it. Hello, Mexico. Philippines. Flipping heck. This is amazing. Any plans to continue the wildly unpopular pick of my Pops series, says Mike. Yeah. I have actually got. I've done the next one. I haven't filmed it yet, but I've done it, and I had a chat with a few people on Twitter a couple of weeks ago because I got it ready, and it was one where I intended it to be like a top 10 or something, and I ended up with a short list of 90 something songs, and I whittled it down to 31, and I refused to get rid of any more. So it's going to be a top 31 of one of my favourite bands, and I won't say which it is. So yeah, I am going to do another one of those soon. Obviously, Plastic Ono band's going to take up a bit of attention just now. So yeah. Excuse me a second. Hi Nicholas. What do I think of the hidden ballad from the new album? Scared. It's my favourite song. Yeah, it's quite sort of downbeat, and he's done a few of those kind of downbeat songs lately, hasn't he? Things like I Don't Know on Egypt Station, and it's that kind of vibe, isn't it? It's good. I mean, new overall isn't. I think I think it's not in my top half of Paul McCartney songs. It's not even mentioned, is it? It's not even credited on here. But I think there's a really good phase on this album where it goes from, pardon me, beer, Queenie Eye, Early Days, New, Appreciate. I think is a great 4-song run on that album. I enjoy that very much. Hi Miguel, if the lyrics book is scheduled for November, doesn't that mean All Things Must Pass fits in between April and Let It Be in August? So June? Maybe. We just don't know. I don't see the lyrics book getting in the way of anything. Paul's certainly not been shy of releasing things, for example, at the same time as there's been John or Ringo releases. I don't see that book getting in the way of any other releases. I think I don't think it'll stop anything, so I don't know, we'll see. James N01, it always worries me when I see things like this, but this seems to have worked out all right. I bought the Half Speed McCartney album based on the video you did, and I'm immediately thinking, oh my God, he's going to send me a bill for the damages. After wanting a turntable for many years, I finally got one at the start of this year. I managed to pick up a copy. Love it. That's good. That's a relief. I was dreading the fact that you said I'm going to say I'd ruined your life or something. What turntable did you get, James? Hopefully, if I don't see it now, I'll see it later. If you can let me know. What songs from Egypt Station do you think is most likely to choose in the lyric book? So this is another in the long line of good questions from Anthony. He'd probably go for something like, you can imagine, Hand in Hand. Been on there. Happy With You. He's going to want to do those kind of positive songs, isn't he? But I'd like to see him talk about Despite Repeated Warnings, because he's kind of talked a little bit about that, about what it might be about, who it might be about, or the thing it might be about. Be nice to see him go into a bit more detail about that. But I think I Don't Know would be a good one for him to do, because those lines like crows at my window, dogs at my door, that's like heavy stuff. That's like I know. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. My favourite film series, not Bond, The Omen. And so you've got, as soon as I heard crows at my window and dogs at my door, I'm thinking of The Omen, because that's the kind of stuff that features in there. I mean, absolutely, it's nothing to do with that at all, but that's what it reminded me of. So I'd like to hear him talk about I Don't Know. So I'm just going to go down to near the bottom of the chat again. Sun Dodger. Andrew, what reissue are you most looking forward to this year? Well, it's got to be... I was going to say it's got to be that, but then it's got to be that. You know, I'd be saying, oh, it's got to be Plastic Ono Band, but then, no, I'd say All Things Must Pass, but then I think, nah, come on, Get Back, Let It Be. That's the big one. It's got to be, because if that is done as well as it could be done, that could be immense, because as well as the new Peter Jackson movie, the Beatles did say that the original Let It Be film will be re-available. Now, they didn't say in what format. They didn't say whether that means just streaming or whether just in theatres, cinemas, or whether you can actually buy it on a Blu-ray or a DVD. They haven't said in what way it will be available, just that it will be available. So if we can buy that, and I imagine going to see Let It Be in the cinema, that would be fantastic. And if we can get the original Glyn Johns Let It Be album, or Get Back album, sorry, because the suggestion is that that's going to get a vinyl release. Will we get a standalone release of the entire Rooftop session unedited? I think there has to be a slight edit, because I think there's a tiny bit, I believe, that's missing where they swapped the tapes over that they were recording, and they missed a little bit there. But if they do that right, that could just be immense, and I'm happy to put aside more money than is sensible for that if they do it properly. Despite repeated warnings, OMG, such a great song. I agree. I think I put that as my number one Paul McCartney songs of the 21st century when I did that video. So, Ray, I never know whether to believe what you're saying or not, and you know why. But John Heaton likes The Omen. If that's true, that's amazing, and I'd love to speak to him about it. But I have no idea whether you're telling the truth or not, to be honest. You are the original boy who cried wolf. So I have no idea whether you're telling the truth. Let It Be is not a Beatle album. It's a movie soundtrack. Well, yeah, that's... it's certainly not an album that they put together, is it? It was kind of done separately to them. Have I finished the Mark Lewison book yet, or am I pacing myself? I finished it, Nathan. I did a video. Yet again, I can pedal out that whole line. I did a video on that. I did a review of it. Where is it? You can't really see it because of my shameless plug-in at the top, but it's there. The big one, the big 1,700-page one. Yeah, I finished it. It's the most amazing book I've ever read in my life. It's fantastic. For more words on that, then you can check that video out that I did probably just before Christmas. Hello from Spain, FJR. Do I know anything about a project McCartney spoke about years ago, about classic work for Spanish guitar? Just that, really, that it's kind of one of those things that was talked about. It seems to have been gone on the back burner, a bit like his High in the Clouds animation project and this Rick Rubin documentary. There's all kinds of things that, you know, we're supposed to be getting, but we don't really know any detail on it. So I've not heard any more about when it's coming or exactly what it contains. But it's one of those things that just sort of seems to be on the stockpile of things that we may or may not get at some point. We shall see. 1985 year. A fan of any metal bands or albums, Andrew? Well, not massively, but I have always had a very strong affinity for, and this might be making me out to be some kind of weirdo here, because I've just shown my Omen box set, and now I'm going to say The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. I like quite a lot of early 80s Iron Maiden stuff, but I am by no means an expert. Don't ask me for anything that digs below the surface of that statement. But Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast, Phantom of the Opera, which isn't really heavy metal, is it? I'm not a massive fan, but Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, which in 1982, I think it was, as a young child, I bought the single of that on blood red vinyl. It wasn't just red vinyl in those days; it was blood red vinyl. I bought that up in Scotland, and I still got that up in the loft, I think. My voice is going, folks. This might be why I might have to do one of those live streams where other people can come in and then other people can talk, and I can just sit and suck on a Strepsil for a few minutes and rest my voice. So what else have we got? I've never been to Denmark before. No, Nicholas. It does look like a beautiful place, but I've not been. That whole sort of I look like a weatherman now. Denmark, Sweden. What else is around there? Finland and all those kind of countries. I've not been up there, but I would love to, definitely. Anthony, yeah, the documentary culminating in the Glastonbury performance is something we're supposed to be getting. So that was really interesting news, and that came out, the fact that Paul has been making or having this documentary made about him for many years, and Glastonbury last year was supposed to be the end of it, which of course didn't happen. So I don't know whether they were going to wait for a new ending. I mean, maybe if the guy could have filmed stuff around McCartney 3, would that be the ending, or is McCartney hoping that he's still going to get back out there live to do an ending? Is it, if he had thoughts in his mind, I can't see him ever doing this, but if he had thoughts in his mind about a last concert, which would have to be in Liverpool surely, that could be it. I don't see Paul ever doing that though. I don't see him ever sort of saying, it's my final concert. I don't see that being his style. So yeah, maybe they've just got to think up a new way to end that, but that would be really... Oliver, sorry, could you please read my No Other Baby comment? What is your No Other Baby comment? Is that recent? I'll try and scroll up a little bit and see if I can see it, because you've clearly... Here we go. I found it, don't worry. No Other Baby is one of the best Paul songs ever, even though it's a cover. Okay, so... I have a say, not a say, but like kind of a phrase, my go-to phrase about No Other Baby. And it is, I think it's absolutely the highlight of Run Devil Run. And what is it? Is it something like 4 minutes and 18 seconds long? This is relevant to the story, people. This is relevant why I want to know how long it is. I'm just going to search my iTunes. Oh my God, it is 4 minutes 18 seconds. How sad is that I got that right? I'm embarrassed now. So, yes, my stock phrase that I say about No Other Baby is, No Other Baby does nothing for 4 minutes and 18 seconds, but it does it magnificently. There you go. That's my that's my saying about No Other Baby. It is a brilliant song. Yeah, love it. Good night, Ray. Thank you for largely behaving yourself. Even though I don't quite know when to believe you and when not. Goodbye. So I keep seeing lots of mentions of Carnival of Light. I don't know in what context. So Sisiogo, any anniversary album for Imagine this year? I wouldn't imagine so because sorry, no pun intended there. I wouldn't think so because they did it in 2018. This year is all about Plastic Ono Band as far as the John camp is concerned. I think they got Imagine done in 2018. They don't have to do that this year. So I'd be astonished if there was anything Imagine related, but you never know. Again, what do I know? I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to Noah the Baby. Yeah. Noah the Baby. How do I rate I'm Carrying off London Town, says, I hope it's Brynjar. Hope that's right. I think it's a beautiful song. It's there's about 3 or 4 songs on London Town that I really love. I mean, it's a good album overall, but I'm Carrying is one of those. I think it's beautiful. I think it sort of builds throughout the song, and I love it when there's like, is it a cello or something that comes in towards the end of the song and just sort of really fills out that bass, those bass frequencies, and it's just beautiful when it comes in. I think it's a cracking song. Love it. I love how the intro and guitars at the beginning of No Other Baby. I used to play that. I can't remember how it goes, but I used to do something with No Other Baby where it was like a I can't remember. I should never do that. I should never say I used to play that years ago on guitar. Let's have a go, because I'm well known for, amongst people who I play guitar alongside, if I don't play something for 2 weeks, I forget how to play it. So, where are we? What's this? Danny Fan. There is this song I've heard several times on a Beatles channel. The words are something like, John Lennon, Yoko Ono, New York City is your people. Do you know who the artist is? No, I don't. Have you Googled it? Can I Google it now? Search Google for John Lennon, Yoko Ono, New York is your city. Yeah, I don't see any results there for that. I don't know. I don't know. Ooh, I've gone onto a different page to before, a different view. There we go. Right, okay. I'm going to flick down to the bottom of the list again. Again, sorry if I've missed your question out. Ask it again. I'll try and get to it. Because I'm already half an hour overrunning, but what the heck? There's a few people here. We're just having a nice time. So let's crack on, shall we? Which do I prefer? Good Evening New York City or Back in the US? Says Lucho. Good Evening New York City would have to be my least favourite Paul McCartney live album, I think. So over here, you may or may not know that we got Back in the World round these parks. Let me just fish that out a second for you. So, here we go. So, Back in the US, which, yeah, obviously was in America and presumably a few other places in the world. Back in the World was the one that was released here in the UK and presumably in a lot of other places as well. I prefer, well, whichever one you're talking about, that's what I prefer to Goodnight New York City, definitely. I just think this has got things like, well, I think it's just in better voice. I think it's a better set list. I saw him on this tour as well, so I've kind of got more personal memories of this tour. So I really like that, and I had to get the US version just because there's some slight differences in the track listing. So this has got Vanilla Sky on it, and something else, I can't remember what. There's something else on there that isn't on there. So of course I had to end up getting both. Never mind. So yeah, there we go. Any thoughts on, says James, Only Mama Knows from Memory Almost Full. Only Mama Knows. Yeah, it's a good rocker. I like it. I like the I can never judge the intro right. So you know it's got that sort of like string intro on a looper. It goes and I can never guess when the song's going to come in. I always get it wrong. And I'm trying to think what it is now. Somebody might know, but there's that riff where it goes do 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 do, and that is almost identically repeated somewhere on New, and I can't remember exactly where now. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, let me know, because I can't remember, but there's a song on New that has almost that exact same riff on. But I think Only Mama Knows is a great rocker from a fantastic album. I love Memory Almost Full. There we go. Hi Steve, am I near... Ooh, I scrolled and your question went, am I near Soho, Liverpool? No. Well, I'm about an hour and a half's drive from Liverpool, so near enough for a day trip, which I definitely intend to do soon. Once lockdown's over, once I've had the old jab, which I've not had yet, but hopefully soon, and once things get back open, have you all heard that the Casbah in Liverpool, it's obviously where the Beatles, the very, very early Beatles, Stu Sutcliffe, Pete Best era, did Stu play? Yeah, Stu would have played there. Where they played, Pete Best's mum's place, where they played in the cellar, and it's now owned by Rogue Best, Pete Best's brother, son of Neil Aspinall and Mona Best. He owns the place now. He's converting it into holiday apartments, so you can actually go and stay at the Casbah. So I am absolutely doing that. Definitely, I'm going to go and stay at the Casbah once that's done. They're posting regular updates on Twitter at the moment of, we've just had the windows redone and the door's been replaced, and they've been doing that this week. So they're definitely on with it. Yeah, I do love my trips to Liverpool. Nicholas, I'm going right to the bottom of the comments here. Andrew, what's your best / unforgettable concert you've ever been to, either with Macca or without? What year and venue was it? So I think I've kind of got three main concerts that I have up at the top, and one of them's a McCartney concert, which is Liverpool King's Dock, 1st of June 2003, the final gig of that world tour. That was amazing. That was brilliant. I was up near the front. It was fantastic. I've seen him a few other times, but that was the one. Because it was in Liverpool. I've seen him in Liverpool another time as well. But other than that, the two concerts that have blown my mind. One of them I've got an album of. I was very, very, very lucky to get a ticket to see Kate Bush in 2014 on her Before the Dawn tour. Well, it wasn't a tour. She only played the one venue, but that was one of the most incredible nights ever. And the other one was U2, Roundhay Park in Leeds, which is within walking distance of where I am sat right now, even though I didn't live here then. And I was sort of up on a hill, 95,000 people looking down on it, and that was, again, just one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. Oh my God, says Meadow Queen, you've seen Kate Bush? Yes, I have. And four is the number of times that I will admit I cried during that concert. Kate reduced me to tears 4 times in that concert. Absolutely incredible. I'm trying to save the voice here. Apart from the Beatles, obviously, says Nowhere Brit, who would you have liked to have seen live but never got the chance? Well, of people or acts who are around still, who it's still feasibly possible for me to see, I've got 2 at the top of my list, and that would be Radiohead and Billy Joel. Probably Elton John as well, actually. So they're the ones who it's actually technically possible to go and see. But Queen with Freddie, and I think probably around about, I think the 86 tour, so that their last tour, so they had available to them as many songs as they ever had live. So all the Live Aid set, for example, was available to them. Yeah, Queen with Freddie, I think would be that would have been quite something. James, you were at one of the Kate Bush gigs and bumped into Melvin Bragg. Brilliant. Wonderful. There was awful lot of famous people went to those concerts. Yeah, I think didn't Paul McCartney go to one of them? I seem to remember hearing. I think he went. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people, a lot of love for Kate out there. David, you saw U2 in Leeds, but also saw them in '81 in Salford. Wow, brilliant! Very early days. That would have been kind of Boy October kind of albums that would have been touring. That would have been good. Oh, we've got somebody who's seen the Beatles live. Jimmy D. I was lucky to see the Beatles in concert, St. Louis, 1966. So presumably that would have been there, like what, August '66 when they were doing that last tour that finished at Candlestick Park. I presume it was probably just sometime in the days or weeks leading up to that, I guess. I don't have a favourite Elton John album, to be honest. I'm more of a singles person when it comes to Elton. I've not really delved into the albums, so I couldn't really answer that. Ruby Kate is one of the most talented. She's fantastic. She's one of my musical heroes. How many times have I seen Oasis live? Well, I was at Nebworth. That was special. Then I saw them in Bolton, Newcastle, and I think Newcastle again. 4 times I saw Oasis live. And then I've seen Noel and Liam a few times separately as well. Yeah, there we go. Hi Robbie, how you doing? James, you saw Tom Doyle, what the author of the book that I keep banging on about. I don't think I'd know him if I saw him. I mean, I've heard him being interviewed, but I'm not quite sure what he looks like, so I wouldn't have known that. How do I learn the songs on guitar? Is there some site? Well, back in the olden days when I started, you learnt from a book. You bought a book, and it would have the chords laid out, and you'd learn from that. But nowadays, you just Google it. It's Google. It's YouTube. And I think they tend to take down a lot of the tabs for the songs. And I think what they do is, I think they take down the ones that are correct for copyright reasons. So a lot of the stuff that's left on the internet is rubbish. It's awful. It's wrong. But you can usually kind of work out what they meant to say. So there you go. Sun Dodger, what's this? What do you do when you look at your music room and you just don't have any more room for music? Well, I'm very nearly at that point now. but I might not be in this room much longer. I may well be going to a bigger room soon. Which, actually, let me know, if I do this, if I go to a bigger room, do I video that? Do I sort of like video me setting the room up? Would anybody be remotely interested in that? Because it would be a lot of work for me to do. But I'll do it if I think it would make a good video at the end of it. Sort of like maybe sort of a speeded up stripping this room out and then a kind of a rebuilding the new room. I might do that actually. But yeah, I may well, by the time we get to the summer, I don't want to jinx it, but I might be in a different room to this that would be at least double the size. We shall see. That's my hope anyway. Yeah. Okay, Elton albums, Honky Chateau, Rock of the Westies are solid gold. And then obviously Captain Fantastic, is that one? And Yellow Brick Road, etc. They're ones that I'll certainly check out at some point. George, I've never seen Billy Bragg live. No, never had that opportunity. Okay, a few people saying that I may do that about that room change video. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see if it happens. Negotiations are ongoing on that at the moment. We will see what happens. It'll be quite nerve-wracking packing all this stuff up and moving somewhere else. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, cool. I had one more quiz question. What was it? Can't remember what it was now. Oh yeah, my last quiz question of the night is: who wrote the opening song on this album? There you go. That's your quiz question. Who wrote the opening song on that album? Raymond, do I like the Beatles rivals, the Rolling Stones? I like the Rolling Stones. I do get quizzed. I've had a bit of stick about this. Like, for example, when I did my top 10 albums of the 1970s video, and the fact that there wasn't a Rolling Stones album in there, and I've had people say, what have the Rolling Stones ever done for you? Oh, you must hate the Rolling Stones. No, I don't hate the Rolling Stones. I like the Rolling Stones, but I'm not a massive fan of them. I appreciate the Rolling Stones as being, their place in history. I like an awful lot of their songs. I think they're, when they get described as the greatest rock and roll band of all time, I'm not going to argue with that. That's fine by me. But I'm just not that fussed about their albums, to be honest. We've got a lot of people saying John Lennon here. We've got Danny fans saying George Harrison. The answer is John. Sorry, Danny fan, it wasn't George. George on here. So we've got track 3, Photograph, that he co-wrote. We've got Sunshine Life for Me, track 4, that he did write. I think that's the only co-wrote You and Me Babe with Mal Evans. How much did Mal Evans really have to do with the writing of that song? Or was that just let's get Mal a bit of income kind of thing as a songwriter? I don't know. But yeah, John Lennon, I'm the Greatest is the song. It's not the greatest song, I don't think. But yeah, John Lennon was the answer to the final quiz question of the evening. There you go. Did I have any other topics that we haven't covered that I wanted to cover? No, because I wanted to make sure that we covered Plastic Ono Band, McCartney Lyrics Book Ram 50th. We've done that. So I will get this video on when the Plastic Ono Band announcement comes out. I mean, there's going to be probably far more interesting things than my video to look at, because there'll probably be some sort of official video, which would be great. But if you're interested, I will be doing a announcement video tomorrow. That's Thursday, 4th of March, for the Plastic Ono Band announcement that's coming on 16th of April. I'll get that video out as soon as I possibly can. So if you haven't already, shameless plug time, hit the subscribe button. And I think if you do that little bell notification thing, YouTube's even more likely to let you know that I've done a video. And I think if you hit the like button, this is really shameless now, if you hit the like button on my videos, again, I think my understanding is that tells YouTube that you like these videos, therefore it knows to show you them when I do new ones. So there you go. So I'm going to do that video tomorrow. I'm going to rest my voice now. I'm going to go through and read all your comments for things that I might have missed about World Cup ideas and such like, and just any other comments that you send to me. If I haven't answered your question, I apologise. send it to me in the actual comments for this video rather than this chat. Send it in the comments, because I get notified of those comments and I can make sure that I try and answer you then. So, we've been in an hour and 40 minutes, which is crazy for me. Thank you very much for watching. I've got this other video to do tomorrow.